which is very important to the Muslim. I don't want my friends to get confused with all sorts of terminologies or concepts which are alien to Islam. So I hope please get back to the track with the right topic, which is right religion and gender reconciliation. It's not about Islam, it's not about merely about feminism or what. Solve the problem, not giving the problem.
We've been talking very much in terms of the dichotomy between male and female, man and woman. But how does religion, Islam in particular, since the background of speakers are Muslim, how does Islam view individuals who are transgender or transsexual? Thank you.
I have two more people I would like at this point though. Please go ahead.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Afifa. I'm not trying to generalize things, but as I believe society is very much divided, those who are very much aware that discriminations are happening and things that the laws right now are discriminating, and secondly, those parts of the society who does not even aware of the discriminations that exist, assuming there is, and those who basically believe that these laws are justified to begin with, and they have basically reasons to to support that with. So the question is, how do you reconcile and how do you basically come up with a better progression in handling this issue? Because as I see right now, there's not much difference basically there's not much difference in this particular cause. We don't really see that much progression because, yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Alright, thank you. Abi, there was a comment or question? The gentleman.
Hi, my name is Yang Jiren. I work in KL. I would like to ask a question about reconciling religion in the Malaysian context. In Malaysia, we have outlawed in various legal systems different sorts of gender issues, sexual preferences, activity preferences. I would just like to know how we can begin a discussion when there is an existing deadlock between theologians, policymakers, and the public in terms of, they just want to use their own language, but they don't want to discuss somebody else's language. For issues, how can we sort of maybe form better public policy through better healthcare, education on the issues of cross-dressing, number one, number two, transsexuality, number three, prostitution, number four, sodomy. Thank you.
Unfortunately, I believe the speakers have quite a ways to finish if they want to answer all the questions, and I'm not sure if we have a lot of time. I guess we have to press the speakers to pick their favorite question and to round it all up. Please, who would like to go first? Doctor?
Obviously, I won't be able to address all the questions asked, but I would like to agree with the law, the next law, that substantial form is really something that is desirable, that is expected in when we talk about society, when we talk about religion, when we talk about ethics. I agree, that is certainly very, very true. And I'm also with you that a lot of emphasis has been put on forms. For example, that a tudung means someone is devout, that someone who doesn't fast is a very bad Muslim, and so on. But that is personal interpretation. But I think what Islam sets out in its Sharia is very clear. But whether people want to follow, that is something else. But the main thing, like all other religions, Islam is a religion that has a lot of meaning for its followers, just like Christianity has a lot of meaning for its followers, that it teaches compassion, it teaches that we should be good to our friends, we should be good to our neighbors, that honesty, hard work is virtues that must be inculcated. So that is the substance, yes, but at the same time, as I mentioned at the beginning of my talk, Islam has a Shariat, and that Shariat is something which is a Muslim need to practice in order to actualize the first part of it, the doctrine. And this is where the problem is, where sometimes in this application, this has become what we call patriarchy, this has become what we call anti-modern, this has also been labeled as being backward. But then again, those are individual human interpretations. One person's interpretation of it can be very different from another. But I think you all need to understand that as Muslims, if we accept Islam, then we have to accept the Sharia of Islam. And the thing that is really important is not so much hudud and blah blah blah. I think the first and foremost is the Sharia that governs our everyday life as a believer, which is the 5 basic pillars of Islam, as well as how we relate in our close the family law, and how we observe some moral dictates in Islam. For example, sex outside marriage is not acceptable, homosexuality is not acceptable. Yes, one can debate this on and on and on, but I think this is something which is very difficult to argue against in the context of, like our students brought up, that there is authority and there is me who has no authority. Right. So that from your point of view, yes, I agree, substance over form is very important, but at the same time, Islam is a religion of forms, and we cannot run away from that. And how we interpret that form is something that is debatable. I suppose that can be a source of conflicts, a source of misunderstanding. Secondly,
sorry, Doctor, I think we are really running out of time. If anybody else of the participants would have further comments, please meet them with me. But I definitely have Dr. Ms. Zainah Anwar to please round out her discussions with me.
I mean, there's a lot that I want to respond to, but given the shortage of time, let me just take a few points. There's so much, when we talk about Islam, there is so much confusion about the terminologies that we use. Sharia, what is Sharia and what is fiqh? Sharia is the word of God. It actually means the way. So we all as Muslims, as believers, try to live our life according to the teachings of God. But fiqh is jurisprudence, it's human constructed, it's human made, it's humans who lead, and of course they're experts. Experts who read the Quran, interpret the Quran, codify the text into law. It's human and it's fallible, it's based on your experience, your time, and given a different time, and we have changed our laws. I mean, we just look at the Malaysian Islamic family law, why have there been changes? If you look at the hudud law, when women's groups protested the Terengganu hudud law that said a woman who reports she has been raped and cannot prove she has been raped will be charged for qazaf, false accusation, and she will be lashed 80 lashes. When there was huge outrage against that provision in the hudud law of Terengganu, the past government, state government, then changed the law. Why? Because it's human-made. It is not divine. It is based on a divine source. But it's human beings who interact with the divine source to produce knowledge, to produce opinions, to produce jurisprudence, and to produce codified law to answer the needs of society today. The society today will not accept that a woman who reports she has been raped and cannot find 4 pious men who witnessed that rape to be sentenced to 80 lashes. Society cannot accept that and must change that provision in the law. Even though it says this is divine law, and if you're against this law, you will burn in hell and you will be sentenced to death and you're going to burn in hell. It changed because of societal demand. So we need to recognize that there is a difference. And we need to recognize there is a difference between ibadah and mu'amalat. Ibadah is between you and God. The prayers, the fasting, you can't change that. But mu'amalat is between human beings. So Islamic law have 2 categories. The ibadah category that you can't change, and the mu'amalah category that regulates behavior between human beings. That can change in the same way that the hudud law was changed, in the same way that the family law has evolved to restrict the practice of polygamy so that the Quranic concept of justice can be brought about. So we need to recognize that there is a difference. We're not discussing ibadah, we're discussing human relations. And also I think we need to recognize that we live in a democratic society. No matter how flawed, we have a constitution. So when you make laws within a democratic constitution, all citizens have a right to participate in that lawmaking process. Why is it when we make laws on social issues, when we make laws on health issues, when we make laws on the economy, nobody asks
ask for only the experts to speak. Of course, the